Everyone in our town knew my dad, Sergeant Harris, the man who stood between chaos and order. To the world, he was a hero. To me, he was a giant. I grew up believing he was invincible, fearless, just, and honorable. He saved lives, caught criminals, and was always praised at town meetings. He had a stern face and a calm voice, but at home he smiled at my jokes, helped me with homework, and made the best pancakes on Sunday mornings. I wanted to be just like him. But that image began to crack one evening when I saw something I wasn't supposed to see. I was riding my bike home from my friend Sam's house. I took a shortcut through the alley behind the old train yard, something my dad specifically told me not to do. That's when I saw him. Dad stepped out of a black SUV with no license plate, wearing jeans and a leather jacket, not his uniform. He had a silver briefcase in hand. Another man, tall, bald, with tattoos on his neck, stepped forward. My dad handed over the case. They shook hands, nodded silently, and the SUV drove off. I hid behind a dumpster, heart pounding. What the hell was that? The next few days were a blur. I watched him more closely. His smile seemed forced. He started taking more late-night shifts. One night, when he was snoring on the couch, I sneaked into the garage. In the far corner, behind the toolbox, I found it. A metal lockbox. It was dusty, dented but unlocked. Inside were wads of cash, a silenced pistol, and photographs, dozens of them. Each had a face, a name, a red X through some. Others had numbers scribbled on the back. And one. One was our neighbor, Mr. Carlson. He'd gone missing 2 weeks earlier. Underneath the photos was a piece of paper. Debt settled. -1. My stomach dropped. Was my dad a hitman, a fixer, a dirty cop? Was everything I believed about him a lie? I skipped school the next day and tailed him in secret. He wasn't going to the precinct. He wasn't even in uniform. He met with 3 men in a parking garage. One of them was a known drug dealer. I recognized him from local news. My dad shook his hand, laughed with him, took a manila envelope. I recorded everything on my phone. That night, I confronted him. I told him I knew. I saw the photos, the money, the meeting. He didn't deny it. He just said, "You wouldn't understand. You're still a kid." But I pressed harder. "Are you working with them? Are you killing people?" He stared at me, eyes hollow. "What I do keeps you safe. You think this world is black and white? It's not. It's blood and compromise. I do what I have to." That night I cried myself to sleep. I couldn't eat, couldn't focus. Then I found something worse. A USB stick in his glove box, inside it recordings, audio files. Taped conversations between him and gang leaders. Payoffs, hid instructions. Arrangements to make witnesses disappear. One file had my name. "If my kid ever talks, he's off limits. You hear me?" He was protecting me, but also covering himself. I copied everything, and I made a choice. I went to Internal Affairs, anonymous drop-off, every file, every photo. I sent it all. Then I waited. 3 nights later they came. 6 unmarked cars, guns drawn, loud yelling. He didn't resist, didn't say a word, just looked at me and nodded. The town was in shock. Headlines everywhere. Decorated officer exposed as underworld enforcer. Some said it was lies. Others said it made sense. My mom moved out. The house was too full of ghosts. And me? I was left behind alone. He got 35 years. A year later, I visited him in prison. I wanted answers. He looked older, tired, but he smiled when he saw me. You did the right thing, he said. Even if it means hating me. You did what I never could. I asked him why. Why the money? The lies? He sighed. It started small, a favor here, a cover-up there. Then I was in too deep, and every time I tried to back out, someone got hurt. So I stayed in to control the damage. He leaned forward. You saved lives, son. More than I ever did. I never told anyone it was me who turned him in. But rumors spread. Some cops treated me like a traitor. Others called me brave. I kept going. Got into college. Studied criminal justice, not to be like my father, but to be better. Sometimes I stare at his badge on my desk. I still keep it. Not as a tribute, as a reminder. Even good men can fall. Even heroes lie. I gave a speech at my high school graduation. I told them, we all carry shadows of who raised us, what we've seen, what we fear. But we choose who we become. Now I tell stories, real ones, about the line between right and wrong and how easy it is to blur it. Because I lived it. And I'm still trying to forgive the man who raised me. The man who broke my heart. And the man I still love. Sometimes, the people we admire the most carry the heaviest burdens. My dad wore a badge. But beneath that uniform was a man torn apart. By duty, by pain, by secrets. I used to think he was invincible. My real-life superhero. Unbreakable. But now, I see something else. Something deeper. He was human. And he was hurting. His silence wasn't weakness. It was his shield. To protect us. To protect the truth. To protect himself. I don't know if I'll ever fully understand the choices he made. The lies he told. The things he hid. The people he tried to save. And the ones he couldn't. But one thing is clear. Heroes aren't perfect. They bleed. They break. And sometimes, they suffer in silence. If you've ever felt like your parent was living two lives, one for the world, and one behind closed doors, you're not alone. And maybe, just maybe, it's time we stop asking what they did and start asking why. Thank you for listening to my story. If it touched you, if it reminded you of someone, tell me in the comments. I read them all. And remember this, sometimes the bravest thing a person can do is simply carry on, even when no one will ever know how heavy it really was